The vlogmas.
This is what I was talking about. You see how like I hear like a loud tone, but I hear what you were saying yesterday, so I was put the gain up.
Yeah.
So boom.
You saying versus my audio versus your guest audio versus your shit.
Well, versus Chacha's audio last night,
Right.
because you was talking to me about that. So, welcome to Vlogmas, everyone.
Yo, you know what
And
I was
now,
I want to say something real quick. Sorry
go
for cutting
ahead
you off.
before Vlogmas starts.
This is Powell Glun.
Paulo Gamoon.
It's they going across the headlines and stuff like that. So I know we ain't even saying that. Let's get it. A vlog missed my fault. I just had to say that. It's my
What'd you
fourth
say,
time
bro?
on. No, it's my fourth time on. And when you have the joint going across the screen and it says
Mm-hmm.
Powell Gun Moon, but we never
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Powell Gun Moon.
So that leads me to what I was going to ask you, French. We're going to, I think at like the end of the month or early January, because we were having
Right.
like podcast talk earlier. I think we like just review these Vlogmas episodes and say, okay, Power Go Moon, because it's like, you know me, like you know how like we talk, it'll be like a myriad of just ideas, and Power Go Moon was an idea that my mom gave me based off of something she was doing, and I was like, oh, that'd be a great name for this rather than Vlogmas, because Vlogmas is the exercise that my mentor and people in my community told me about to just get comfortable on live streaming. I never thought that I would get this much support from my actual community and even my LGL fam to do this. So I'm coming from a place of gratitude on that. So shout out to me. Shout out to
Yeah,
French.
shout out to you.
Shout out to French. He's
That shit
not
is mad
only
dope.
he's not only a staple on the show. He's a regular.
That's the regular sound.
That's the regular
I,
sound.
nah, but that's dope that you.
Go ahead.
Nah, that's dope that you get to exercise this, and I get to be a part of your exercising. Cause as a professional, I'm not a professional in this, but you need sparring partners,
Of course, all
and
day.
I'm more than grateful to be a part of your sparring sessions to get you equipped to be the greatest that you gonna be. And one thing that I know about you is that you're about the people.
Yeah, as are you.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I know that everything that we do and everything that we exercise, everything that's going on here is about the greater good for everybody else, to get everybody else on their stride. So like you've had so many facets in life that orchestrated you to be where you at now. You've been a
Yeah, I ain't
leader
nowhere now.
in the
I'm in my
military.
basement now.
This is just ground level up, and we're gonna keep working and keep climbing up.
Right.
But being in the military, understanding leadership, understanding your study, understanding your genuineness, and
Oh, you
trying
about to
to
make me talk heavy,
configure,
man. Don't start this.
trying to configure what it is and what we doing here, but it's for the greater good of everybody else. Anytime he tests anybody, and I love this about him because he tests me to keep stretching myself.
All day.
Even though I could say,
You could
"Oh,
say,
I'm great, I'm
nah,
this and that and
nah,
third.
nah, nah. You gonna do
I'm gonna
that?
talk heavy on myself
No,
and say,
listen, hold on,
I got this. And sometimes,
stop.
what up?
Just say what you said earlier, because so the people could do it. Like, yo,
As far as what
subjective. As far as like what we talked about, we was like what
subjectiveness
we,
and objectiveness.
yeah, and like we just fought for 2 hours before French try to come on here media train, not even media train on this. That's what we was talking about, and what
This
I told him,
this
and we always call a mediator to like solve our arguments
Right.
But that's what it was. It's like, yo, something can be subjective, and we're gonna get to the proverb, but something can be subjective versus objective. That doesn't mean that the other person has to agree with you right at that second live.
Right. So that was my point to the whole thing was objective and subjective. Objective is something that we all understand is common knowledge or something. And subjective is something that we see it to perceive it to be from our perspective. Sound fucking cliched in a sense, but that's what it is. So I know we had our typical joints and we battle ready, and sometimes we get in an arena and we go and spar, meaning me and Myles, right? We're gonna spar, we're gonna do things, and we're gonna keep testing each other to see how our swordship is going amongst each other and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
That's how we do it.
basically how we do it.
On and off mic.
How
On and off
everybody
mic.
gonna take some stuff, and sometimes some people might think that their subjectiveness might be objective. We don't fall back from that. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things is commonality with people, and some things is how you perceive it to be. And we want to spar on it. And sometimes some people feel like, oh, I believe it to be like the pot roast has to be cooked a certain way or cut a certain dimension because it fits in the oven. And then when you start understanding the background of it, it was something I learned and I understood about this. Let me just chime in on this shit real quick. I know you want to say something. So it was like a young lady, she asked her mother, yo, why the ham is cut a certain way to fit in the oven and this and that third. And then she was like, I don't know. Yo, ask grandma. And then grandma was like, you know, why is this cut this certain way? She's like, I don't know. You ask my grandma. And then the great grandmother said, it's cut in a certain way because my oven couldn't fit the ham in there. So I cut that shit to roast it. So sometimes you don't even understand why you doing certain shit. So what we do is try to get back to why a situation is happening. Why do we do certain things? We want to get to the essence of why it is of what we do. You know what I mean? You can hear
Yeah, I
me?
hear you, bro. Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you. No, what was talking? So what you said, baby?
Okay.
Pretzels?
Tell Noah to come in the frame real quick. I ain't seen in a minute.
Yeah, right here, man. Right here. She don't want to come in
Well,
the frame.
tell,
You wanna come in the frame?
tell Noah to come in the frame. I ain't say I
She
want to
wanna
say
come
hi to
no-
her.
Noel's been
Salute.
doing like 37 things today. Like, as you know, like our basement flooded, and
She's always
She had to-
behind the scenes with shit.
nah, yeah, she behind the
Thank
scenes doing
God
her
for
thing.
her.
But listen, bro, let's get to what you was trying to say. But let's
Let's get the vlogmas.
Let's get the vlogmas. But before
Right.
we get to vlogmas, I want to introduce a new sound effect that I've been
You
working
got
on.
something fire?
Something
It better be
on the tip.
fire.
I don't know if it's fire.
It better be fire.
Let's see. I gotta find it. I hope it's fire. This is the whole.
Yo, you got
funny thing about-
one of my favorite LVPRD joints on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
but-
I don't got nothing to chat upon me. I got some more good, but I do have a lot of like LVPRD.
But Chaz, pardon me.
No, because this
How
shit
you gonna
look
say
like it.
pardon
I was
me?
about
Can I
to
have
say
some
something,
more?
but it's some Aaliyah shit I got going on right now.
Chaz made
But it
that?
had this Aaliyah, but it looked like some LVPRD shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Man,
yo,
that-
you got that
that
shit. That's
Aaliyah
one of my
joint is
favorite
another
shits. I
story.
thought I wanted him to have a hoodie in it because I hate the crew neck shit.
Yo, Aaliyah joint is another story, Pop.
Yeah. What you got?
Like,
What's
that's
the new
another-
sound effects you got though?
It's MP. He sent it AMR. I don't even know like why he didn't send it.
And
Yeah, he
B
didn't
got some
send it. And he
shit.
didn't send it. He
Shout
didn't
out to
send it.
NB.
He couldn't send an MP3 like everything is.
NB.
Nah,
That's a start. That's a start. Yo, listen, that's a North Star for a lot of things right there. NB. 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 NB the North Star.
So this is an NB
You
joint.
get
Go
shit
ahead.
popping, you want to get shit rolling, you want to get shit rolling on the right
Yeah,
tip, this and that
NB.
third. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You want things
NB.
sophisticated, you want things. He's a North Star.
If hit NB, hit NB say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
the
just
joint.
like a.
yeah,
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's
All right,
it.
so listen, we're gonna get into
Go
Lit
ahead,
Out with
NB. Shouts
Myles.
to NB.
Shouts to NB.
Right.
So, the whole joint flounce.
What's that?
Bing. All right. So maybe I gotta put that in a different way next time. But yo, definitely
It
gotta put
said
this in a
what?
different way. Hold
Moun
on, hold on, hold
passe
on.
dry?
Wait. Wait. What is this? What is
What's
this?
going
Hold
on?
on.
What you trying to do?
The joint. Nah, the day 18 gotta be up there like that, bro. All right, so boom. So let's just do our thing. All right,
It's day 18.
day 18
Vlogmas.
on the Vlogmas.
Pile gum on.
Pago Moon, that's you saying that. Sound like
Nah,
I'm
that was
trying.
the
I'm trying.
intro
Nah,
of the whole
I
shit.
didn't want people to catch it because I'm gonna try to
Right.
buy it, son. You know what I mean? You got to try to buy the words.
Pause.
And now, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so. Moun passe dry.
A protector is like a cloak. This hit me
So,
different. This hit me different, bro.
Moun passe dry. So, Moun meaning people, pa na se is dry. Dry is a cover.
So moon. Hold on, wait. Moon meaning the people is a protector. Obviously means a person
Right.
in this context, right? Or a protector. It could like that. Moon could have been like your mother. It could have been your father, and it would have been the same sentence in Koyo. Just so that people that don't understand Koyo can understand.
Right. Pa se dry is not a cover. But like a cloak. Cloak is something you cover yourself with. So
Is it?
so
Cool.
a
My
cloak?
fault. I don't. Yeah, because a cloak to me is like that's like Maji Sean saying like a cloak is like yo is a protective. It's like a cape.
Which is a dra, which is a piece of material that you're covering yourself with. Which is kind of like what we were saying in the same sense. And
Yeah.
like people can't cover you all the time. Like yo, you can't have people cover for you all the time. That's what I'm going into. What I think
I'm not
the
seeing it
meaning of
like that, but go ahead.
Right. So people can't cover you all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's an interesting thing that is popular to me, and I always have these things when I say this or when I'm on here. I was having a conversation with my son, and I was telling him
Shout
about
out DeAndre.
Did it?
Go ahead.
So I was talking to him, and I was saying how, there's certain situations in life where it's a narrow road where you can be the only one to cross that road. I can't be there with you holding your hands. I can't cover you at that particular point. I gave him an instance because he's a high schooler now, and he has to deal with SATs and stuff. Like, bro, I can't sit there and take the SATs with you. Something you gotta do for yourself.
But he's not naked.
He's not naked. So the reason why I told him that he's not naked is because in the beginning of that path, I'm there with him. And at the end of that path, I should be there with him. But in the mix of it, my cover can't protect him. It has to be on his own accountability. And That's the realest thing that, and I feel like as a parent, we always feel like we want to catch a child when they fall, but how good is that doing them? You know, sometimes
Not good at
allow
all.
your allow your kid to fall and understand that he can get up on his own regards. Cause the truth be told, we can't always be there for them. But while we here is just understanding that, and that's the learning process of knowing that when I have to watch my son fall, I have to take that. And when he falls, he has to understand he has to eat that too. That's the
So,
regard that I take on that. Mm-hmm.
so I bring it
What
back
you
to the
gonna say?
proverb, and I let you
Right.
talk heavy on the proverb after I say what I say. But
Right.
I want to like I'll dig deep in our life with this because I mean I'm not stressed for time. So like on the proverb, it's like a protector is like a it says a protector is like a cloak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see that is like I'm going to cloak my son or people in my life because like yo like it says like it wouldn't the proverb wouldn't be a proverb if it didn't have the word protector in it and cloak. And to us the way we look at it now is like you're like that's like an oxymoron. So like the way you looked at it when you gave your explanation is like protector, cloak, shield. It kind of coincided with those words that like I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna shield you from whatever.
Right.
But it's almost like when you ready, you don't need to protect anymore, right? Because our culture, being Haitian men, it's like, man, we're really not dependent on people, even though we should be at most times, right? And like, yo, we were talking to my uncle earlier, where he says, look, yeah, you about to let another man be your mentor, this and the third,
Right.
and it's like, yo, like you got passionate about it. I kind of did, but I understand the culture a little bit, and you understand the culture more than I do. But it was like, yeah, man, like,
Is
yo,
it the
we don't
same?
know everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you got a dad. Like I got uncles on my Haitian side, and I got,
It's the
you know,
same shit. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, yo, you not letting like nobody's changing your father's tire. Why he got hands? You know what I mean? Even if like his hand was broke, he'd be like, nah, I'm waiting for somebody. And he
But
gonna
that
call his
that's
brother, or he gonna call you. He'll call you to come all the way from CT before
yeah.
he let, especially if he got a shorty in the car, let somebody change his tire.
That's it's the same thing that is the understanding of what I'm saying is like sometimes your protector is like a cloak, but it doesn't have to be a cloak. It doesn't have to be your protector doesn't have to be the thing that covers you. And in my what I was saying was in my son's perspective, if he sees me as the cover, sometimes I will unveil him. I don't need to cover him for him to understand his extraordinary because if I had to play both part of protector and cloak, how would he understand his greatness? So I have to remove that essence of it and saying like, yo, bro, there's sometimes like, yo, you don't need me for that. Like you got this on your own, and I have to entrust in him, and he has to trust in himself. But it was funny we was talking about this earlier, and I went through something in my life, and I was like, yo, I figured out this whole format of getting to my goal. I'm not gonna share all of that stuff with you. I'm just gonna speak it in another tense. And for me, understanding that I could get there versus me understanding that I didn't believe in myself that I could get there. So I had to confide in other people that I respected or people that was on my side. I knew they was on my side and talk to them for them to tally up and say, yes, yo, French, you could get there. Claude, you could get there. And for me to big myself up, and I'm like, yo, it came to the point that where I had to learn that it wasn't it. I failed and I fall on my face heavy.
Yeah, you fell on your face, right?
Right.
Well, dig this. The whole time we was all going through it together. So like, yo, like, and I think like it takes an extravagant event or just like a mix up to do it, right? When COVID just first started, right? And I think I would say like I was like 1 year in the life coaching, and I was like, yo, everybody just say they go like it's manifested, and you was like really romantic with it, right? But like you was the only one out of all of us making money off your goal, like actual money, like to buy a home, right? But you
Right.
wouldn't say it, and it was like corny to us. It was, I mean, it was corny to me. I'm not gonna talk for our brothers, right? Because we talk on like sometimes we talk early in the morning, and it's like, yo, I'm not gonna talk for them, but it was corny to me because I'm like, yo, like you make your money off of this, and like you don't want to tell us, but. And then when I brought up the word imposter syndrome, right? And I was talking about myself, but like it all fits in that basket, right? Of I don't know who I'm going to be, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to put myself in this basket or this to be this person that I'm trying to impersonate because I understand how he or she does business. You see what I'm saying? So when people say, "Yo, why you talking like that?" Like I'll say, you know how Nori starts it off. I'm here with this person, right? Because I'm impersonating Nori because he one of my heroes. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, when Mo hears that on the show, he don't understand it because he's not a fan of podcasts like I am, right? Or when like I have my cup like this, I'm like Star because Star always does this, but it takes that um like that glue to make a better person, and that leads us to like the whole Steph Curry slash whatever thing we were talking about earlier. And again, there was resentment, there was jealousy when you was making money off your of what you was doing because when they was keep us all inside, you was like, yes, I'm gonna have to be all inside. Checks is coming, and everybody's like, yo, friends, what we doing? What we doing? You was like, I don't know, but it seemed like that, but that's not what you meant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't mean like I'm gonna be the richest and y'all gonna need me, but that's what made me help me build this studio. Even though like you helped me build the studio before you even had that plan to do that from the crib before COVID.
Yeah.
It just all coincides. But when we talking at 2 in the morning and it's like 7 people on the phone and we can't talk, it's hard to understand.
Everything. That's what I learned it was everything that coincides with what you're going through at the moment. Whether it seems to be your ups, your downs, your lefts, your rights. I know the last conversation, not today, but we spoke 2 days ago, I think it was, and I was telling you that, um, you know, when you're going through things in life, right? Whether it looks pretty or it looks ugly, don't be naive because there's a flip side to the coin. And I was going through things, and everybody could perceive me a certain way, but I'm like, even if my intent was like, yo, I want to win, and if a lot of people understand me, they understand that a lot of times, like, my wins are everybody else's wins. I'm there to congratulate people when they first call, get their first crib, second crib, third house, third car, whatever. Anything you doing, and I fuck with you, I'm celebrating it, and I'm telling everybody else the same way.
Right.
So
Now
when I
I
go
know
through
that about you though.
I'm not I know no I understand that shit, and I'm not saying that we're not gonna sit here and say like I went through my shit and I came here and then yo I had the audacity to be like yo I wanna you know build a clothing line and this and that third. Chops already had that shit. And I'm like, yo, damn, but this nigga got this shit. This and that. Sometimes, and then when you had the basement and you got this joint for like where you at right now, I don't know one day you could show people the beginning process, but the progression of it, and I'm like, damn, this nigga Miles
Nah, I
keep
got
doing
this
this
shit all
shit.
documented.
Yo, Miles got this joint going on. I'm your brother. We've been through
And that's what I'm
everything
saying.
together.
So hold on. So
And
let
then
me talk heavy.
for me to
Go ahead.
say that I didn't feel that way or like you was keeping my energy up, like yo, when I go to sleep at night, like he got his shit going. Yo, you, what are you doing?
But that's
Like I gotta
perspective.
contest. No, I understand. That's my perspective, and that's what I'm speaking on. I don't
Yeah,
care
yeah,
how
my fault.
people feel or whatever
Nah,
it
go ahead,
is.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
But everybody along the side of me that was doing shit, even during COVID, regardless of how they said, yo, if I came up a certain amount of bread and I did this, y'all still kept me in perspective to do this certain thing because it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't even matter about like, yeah, I made this bread, but at the end of the day, like my heart is like, what did I do for somebody else?
Yo,
I
bro,
could.
the money shit never really ever mattered to us, and it's so funny
Yeah.
because like, yo, so my other brother Cam, he was on the jack with us earlier, and like, I'm not gonna say he barked on French, but he was like, yo,
He
son,
did.
you gotta
He
stop
did.
screaming, son. Like, what the fuck? And like, yo,
This
that's what we do, and
nigga's-
like, he's special for that because he'd be like, yo, son.
I
Yo, you
love him
think
for
that like
that.
we scared of you or we or whatever, but that's how we be getting on our shit, right? Because like we
He
all got
really was on
passion,
some shit.
but at the same
That's
time,
what I love.
we understand that like who we are, right? But like when it comes to like back against the wall, and this is what I'll tell all men or whatever, and I always want to bring it back to the proverb, right? A protector is like a cloak, right? Yo, I'm the happiest when I'm up, right? I'm the most determined when I'm down, right? But when I'm determined, I'm alone. I already know that. Like I have
Yeah.
to be. It's like it's no middle to the bottom for me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, and at the
It's up
top,
and down.
from no,
You
but this
think
is
it's up and
Myles.
down? You
Nah,
think it's
yeah.
up and
So like,
down?
yeah, no,
I was
for
just gonna
me.
ask you a question. So,
Go
so you
ahead.
know that when I go through my shit, like I'm in my dark night phases. I just dressed it up real quick like that.
Yeah.
But we always call it when I go through my thing is we call the darkness. And I love that. And
Mm-hmm.
I explained to my mom's the other day because she was like, yo, why you always try to do this shit and you come through this and that? I'm like, Mom, if I'm always surrounded by light, how can I recognize what's good?
Hmm.
Sometimes I have to go through the dark to understand where the light is at to know my direction. And she didn't understand that in a minute. And I'm like, yo, I gotta
I
go
really don't
dark
understand that.
sometimes. Sometimes you have to go dark and be covered because light
Right.
will show you the way you have to go. But if you're surrounded by light, happy times all the time, happy, it's light, it's all this and that third. And like, where you going?
But I feel like we make that shit up, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like let me talk heavy on that. Like I feel like we make
Right.
that up because again, like when I'm up, nigga, I'm texting everybody. I'm doing like, and I text. Yeah, I
You do
send
that
like
shit when
probably
you
like
down though.
exact. I do it when I'm down too, right? But it's the follow up, right? So what I'm saying is when I'm down,
Mm-hmm.
I need like that's when you got like that's why like why my wife is special. Like that's why she's still around, right? Because she's the only person like she might get tight, but like she know how to nurture that. Like my mom's too. I speak to my mother more than anybody I speak to in the world. It might not seem like that, but what she said to us earlier, it was dope. Cause like I could put you on the phone, with my mom, and you can put me on the phone with your mom, and it'd be the same conversation. And I think my mom's broke it down dope today. She was like, "Yo,
She
we don't
did.
get you like that. We don't get y'all like that." So my mom was like, "Yo, when I have Claude in the car, I'm giving him books to read. I'm like, she's giving you a list, and you sitting
That's
there like,
love.
what?" And then when I spoke to your mother the other day, she's telling you, "Shut up." She got to talk to me, and it's like, man, like what is the feeling and like yo like being the feeling, right? Like how do you be that feeling?
but look, that's the essence of this shit to say that like how meaningful is your child to you to where you know the friends that they have or the company that they have to take that toll to say this is what I want to instill in you now.
But I feel like that's a reflection, bro. I feel like when you can do that with your child, that's different rather than to reflect. So like my mom's known you for over 30 years, right? Like 30, no, maybe 27,
Damn near,
28
damn
years.
near, yeah.
Yeah, damn near your whole
Damn near
life,
30.
right? But damn near 30,
More
right?
than my home, yeah.
But when she first when we first started like integrating and knowing each other and like stuff like that, it's wild different than how it is now because it's like, oh snap, this is about to be around. So I think like when I think about kids, I'm like, yo man, all Max's friends, I just want to know the youngest I can know them so I can kind of like take in another child without having another child and bridge relationships, right? Because even us, like we didn't really get along. Like we've always been like close, right? No matter like even if we was beefing, I could still go to your crib, walk in without you knowing. Your aunt's like, "Yo, you hungry?" You know what I
She
mean?
gonna
Like
hold you
I can
down,
always
yeah.
do that regardless of anything. But
But that kind of was the essence of our upbringing. That where um the friendship was similar to uh, a sibling rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Like yo,
I
even
wouldn't say
if me and
rivalry.
you, no, like if I was beefing with you at the time of if you said some shit that I ain't like particularly at the time, and maybe we was like 13, 14 years old. Now, say like if I bounce, I went to my shorty crib, this and that third, and you came to my crib and you had something going on, and my aunt would have knew, everybody would have knew like, yo, I know you and
It's
French ain't
Myles.
talking. You think you and Myles ain't talking right now, but I'm gonna discard you because you ain't talking to my nephew right now. She ain't gonna do that. She gonna take you in
Nah,
and say,
yo,
"What's
son,
going on? You
mad
want some
times.
food?
Yo, bro,
You want
mad
some
times.
food?
She
Yo,
called me
go
downstairs.
upstairs. Yo, go
No,
upstairs. Take your time out. Chill
that's what I'm
out.
saying.
Whatever."
Mad times. She called me downstairs like, yo, who's those dudes upstairs? Like she barked on me.
You trying to finesse this shit? Cause exactly what I'm
Nah, she wasn't
saying.
trying to finesse it. She
She
was just
saw
trying
you.
to know. Yeah,
No,
she's
she
trying to
know,
know.
but what I'm saying, but she knew who was who. She
Yeah.
knew
I
who
mean
was
that
who.
ice, yeah.
You,
I,
oh, you thought
I
that
get
was
what you're
it,
saying.
yo, it might have been.
Yeah, no, but she
It might have
seen. She
been.
was like,
It might have been
yeah.
just that whole ice and shit.
Yeah,
That's
cause she
murder.
called me downstairs. She be like, "Yo, come in here," and then like I'm like, "Damn, my you know what I mean, my feet start sweating." And I'm like, "Damn, like yo, this is this person third," but I already knew, and like this
Yo,
is like beeper time, not even cell phones like that. Like this is like yo, nights and weekends, maybe if that. And this was in the afternoon because you was always
yeah.
busy doing your joint. You was doing like I mean,
Nah, we gotta
you
talk
was doing
about
the most.
it.
Yeah,
Nah, I
but
was
I
just
was like, yo, but that's the whole point, son. It's like it's wild because like you always left it like, yo, this is my crib, and they're not even your. I mean, basically, it was like, yo, it was dope for us
everybody's
to have
saying,
that community. No, when I talk about like a community,
yo,
and
you
I'm
know what's
grateful for that.
you know what's so crazy? My cousin, my cousin Gloria, her her husband. Let's say like my cousin-in-law type shit.
Your
Her
cousin,
husband hit
that's your
me.
cousin, bro.
Well, her husband, she's my cousin, but her husband is the one that told me this shit. And he was like, yo, y'all don't understand how much this house means a lot to people. And I'm like, for him to come later on in the life to understand past y'all, Charge, Kim, Magic, or anybody,
Yeah,
like for him to say that later on, just from my perspective, and to say that, yo, the welcomingness, the stapleness, and I'm like, yo, I understood what my aunt did for so many people in my life, and it's almost like a trajectory of like how I feel it in the essence of me. Like sometimes wherever, if you ask everybody in the family like how they feel about her, it's gonna be mixed feelings. And the same shit with me, it's gonna be mixed feelings.
That's
But
leadership, though, bro.
if you understand that what we meant or what we was intentionally trying to do, we meant well for everybody. We want to do most for everybody. And then like she did so much, and I'm like, that's my baby girl. You
But
already
that's
know
my
that shit. You
but
see
this is
what the
my
fuck you saying?
But this is my
I mean,
like
I love
the
her to
quandary.
death. I
Like
love
this
my
is my dip.
mom's. Yeah, I had to say that shit just to
Forever.
get it straight
Nah,
because this is
forever,
recorded.
forever. Nah, ever, nah.
And my
I love
mother one
Ebert.
time, and then for your mother, Marie, she always do her shit. Yeah.
Yo, but
Oh,
listen
you
what I'm trying to say.
know.
So no, my fault, son. Just so you mad petty. But yo, this is what I'm trying to say. It's
Right.
not about that. Like it's about that, but it's not about that because this is the thing. Like you could speak talk heavy for Ebert, right? And your son could probably do it, right? But like I think like yo, like she's a very authentic person. Even now, she can like she niches in every generation. So like you like, oh, she's like, yo, I gotta talk. Oh, with my voice about like my plane ride, I could do that. I could do Facebook. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And like
Right.
that's the thing that makes me nervous because I'm like, yo, how could she be so transparent on the times,
Right.
right? Because I feel like an old man because I'm like, yeah, I can't get jiggy with this new social. I can't get jiggy with this new rap. I can't get jiggy with this new. All you gotta do is tell somebody like that what they gotta do, and they like same thing with my mom. Like, yeah, my mom got like over 10,000 followers on Clubhouse, and she's moderating rooms for work. So I'm
Right.
like, yo, man, what? What's going on? And she's like, yo, you just pointed me to the goal. I'm about to hit it. So I'm like, yo, how stubborn am I? Back to the proverb, right? To protect
I
us
was
like a
about to.
cloak.
I was just about to get it. Yo,
Yeah. Nah, for sure. Because you know what
you'll
I'm saying?
see how
I
this shit
seen
line up.
videos. Yo, I seen videos
Yeah,
on
do you
Facebook with
think?
your aunt. I seen
Yeah,
videos on Facebook with your aunt.
yeah.
Thousands of views. I never had a
For
thousand views on
real?
Facebook. Yeah, because Dell posted some joint when she's arguing with the TSA people
She
about
don't
how she
fuck
gonna get
around.
joint.
That shit is
Yeah, but she
real
don't mess
shit.
around. Or even
It's
the waiter,
authentic.
whatever she it's like that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's authentic.
Right.
And so
The protector
authenticity is the
is.
most transparent thing ever.
Yeah,
But it's
shit
like, yo,
real.
they never got that before. So now like they in their power. But we being selfish because they put us in private school. They did all that stuff, trying to protect us. That was
Yeah.
the cloak. Like they the cloak and the weapon.
But the funny thing is like I never wanted to be represented by that, and that was my first act. Like where because you remember the minute it was last week we had a conversation maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yo, who you think you respect more, the person that get the A or the person that the person that earns the A or the person that got the A that had to keep the A? And
Mm.
and you was like, yo, the person that had to earn the A. And I'm like, yo, but my first argument was the person that had got it had to fucking protect that shit. That shit took so much. Cause it takes a lot to gain it, to learn to climb up there. And then once you get up there, all the eyes are on you. So it's like to hold the championship. Yo, like for LeBron to get the championship in Cleveland, that was something that was first done, isn't it? After he had to climb up this shit. And for him to fucking repeat that shit was hard. So I was
For
like,
who, bro? You don't feel like that's
for
subjective, bro?
LeBron, for LeBron. No. It's subjective. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
The question is subjective because some people can see it as, you had to gain it, or versus if it was given to you. And the same thing is like, yo, hold on, what am I doing? Because the reason why I posed the question to you is
Yeah.
because I streamline and I try to do everything that I can to get my son on a new pillar so that he can have an advantage to get going. Or should I leave him in the dirt and say, let me be a deadbeat father? You know, it might be better for him. And then if I have a conversation with him down the line and be like, yeah, I was helping you out, putting you in the dirt. Or is he going to take it as, yo, I had to uplift you a little bit and then he squandered the whole shit? Am I going to have resentment or is he going to have resentment? You know what I'm saying? So that whole conversation is so crazy. That's why I posed it to you saying that, damn, is it better if I hand my son 100 mil? Or does he have to earn his own 100 mil?
And you know what I'm gonna say? He got to earn his own 100 mil. You give anybody anything, bro. It's just you might as well count it as a loss. And
But some people feel that
and
way
that breeds
because
judgment.
when you're up and you're doing all your numbers and all that shit, there's gonna be some people that's entitled that's gonna be knocking at your door. They're saying, "Yo, June, you remember the
Now
time?"
up and
They
stuck is
gonna
different,
They
bro.
gonna Mike Jack this shit. And do you
Up,
remember the
bro.
time?
Nah, up and stuck is different. You can give anybody anything,
It's not gonna always
right?
be because you know the saying
Can't
that
let me
we're.
finish. Let me finish. Hold on, let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you $1 million. How
Right.
you take it is how you take it, right?
Right.
Now, if I gave my son $1 million, I expect something different from that. I got different expectations. Like, so if I gave you $1 million
From your
you
son
listen.
versus anybody else.
No. So like you earned your keep with me from day one, right? So like that's work put in. It's not like you was trying to earn what you earned with me, right? But you can't say, yo, I'm Miles' son, so whatever Miles said to do, I did. When you look at your
But
son, it's like,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
let me finish. Let me finish.
But that's where the entitlement sentiment comes from.
But let
So
me
where
finish.
no,
Let
but
me
that's what
finish.
it is.
Let me finish. So whatever, like to me, right? You know, people say, "Yo, my son's gonna have an open mind or whatever." I don't look at it like that. Like my ideals is in my son. So whatever his general attitude is to how I judge myself. Or I'm not talking about what he does, chooses for a career, general attitude, right? So his general, like my general attitude is just like my dad's. Now, I think I'm a more of a brilliant man than my dad, but at the same time, my general attitude is the same. You can see it, right? So whatever my dad gives me or gave me, his expectations on that, like that's a personal conversation. You see what I'm saying,
Right.
between he and that's what legacy is about. But so when it comes to cash, like I wouldn't be surprised of when Max turned 18, like regardless of how much money I have, he turning it down. Cause that's how I am. You see what I'm saying? Like he wants to build, he's gonna want to build it on his own. But that's how I am. So he'll say, okay, give it to my mother. Why don't you give it to my mother?
I almost felt like that when I showed my son like 10 bands. Like I was so proud of that moment in the day. I did that shit in the day, and I showed him that shit, and he was like,
Yeah,
and I was
you want to
like,
see it.
hold on, hold
Yeah.
on. Yo, what do you mean?
But if you pay attention,
You
that's how you
asking
always
me
was
this and
around
that,
money.
third. I know it, and I'm like thinking about that shit right now that you saying it, and
Yeah.
it's like, yo, hold up, this nigga just said what, and I'm like, this for you, and I'm like, yo, you know what? And you figure this shit out.
Yeah. And that's what that's my whole point, bro. It's like
That shit is crazy. Hey,
it's a
yo, kids be
substance.
doing this shit, but you don't know this shit. But
It's
like,
not even
I, s-
kids. Nah, bro. It's not even kids. It's the same thing with you, bro. Like you talk to your father now, and like the same thing that you talk about with your dad,
right.
he's not sharing it to you like as practical as we're talking about it right now. But it's the same.
That's fucked up because I'm practical with my son. Like I said,
Yeah.
yo,
But that
step
takes
A, step
humility,
B.
bro.
This is yo.
Yeah.
These are the steps that I took. This is where I failed at, and then Like if you could take them steps, and if you fail
Come
from it
on,
the same
son.
way, then you know what it is. It like that's what I talked about. You
All
know,
right,
this
but bro,
what we
can you
talking
see your
about.
father? Like you know your faults, and you can see your father doing that.
Son, he
Hell
not
no.
gonna do that shit.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's apples and oranges. Like you can't compare the way you parent to your dad,
Yeah,
but
but
it's the message is the same. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's
yo,
why you're
yeah,
such a
no,
good
you're right.
learner.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
that's why you're
right.
such a
In a
good learner.
sense,
And like that's why your son's so rebellious. So like your
and
son is mad rebellious based on your rebellion, but you're a good learner based on you trying to understand your dad. Your son doesn't have to understand you because you're so transparent.
right. And
And
that's what
that's
I felt like I didn't give him my pop is dead. Where
yeah.
I was saying this shit like, you know, a lot of this financial aspect shit that comes from me, whether I
I don't
want to like,
understand it. You never needed
no,
nothing.
no, I was saying, no, we had the conversation. I was saying that, when it comes to like, yo, I want Ferrari, Rolls Royce, or all of this shit. And you was asking me like, yo, like, where your car infatuation come from? And I'm like, that's from my pops, and I could show you that shit. And the only reason why I want them shits is to say like that. I just showed you I get this shit in real life, nigga. That was my shit. It had nothing to do with like I really don't care about what.
You never, son, you never
It
drove a
was
Mercedes.
never
You
about.
never drove a Ferrari. You did all of that. That's
I've
what I'm trying
drove
to tell you.
Mercedes. I've drove a lot of shit, but like I'm talking about high end cars, and I just threw something out there. Like a Ferrari, I never drove this shit. A
You didn't
Rolls
drive
Royce, I
Ferrari?
never drove. No,
You
never
didn't go to
did that
Canada with
shit.
us?
No, nah. That year that when y'all seen Fab and shit, nah, nigga, I wasn't there.
Oh, all right, all right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like every single thing that I would say I wanted, I got, and like like driving big cars and doing like that. Like, so like you own 3 Mercedes, and I never owned a Mercedes. I drove one. I never owned that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it
but
didn't mean
like that
anything.
shit. So like a Mercedes as a Haitian is a layup.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
that's what. Yeah,
Hold on,
but
you
that's
say. Hold
corny
on,
you say
listen.
that, son,
Hold on.
because
No,
like,
no, it's not corny. Did you own a BMW? That's equivalent.
yeah,
To,
but bro,
yeah, son. It's the same shit.
nah, son. It's the same
Nah,
shit
son.
to you.
No,
No.
listen. I'm talking about
I'm on the same side as you right now.
Lamborghinis, Bugattis, things like fast cars or some shit that's like in our time now. If you spend
We
300K
didn't.
above for
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
I can be like, yo, you know what I hate though, in a sense, it's
I hate
like
what you're doing right now
when
because
a
I'm
man.
telling
No,
you this.
listen, I'm about to get
Go
ignorant
ahead.
with this shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all cool.
Go ahead.
I hate the fact that when niggas want to think that they get like a C-class Mercedes that they doing some shit.
Yo, but you're bugging, son. But this is what I'm trying to tell you,
as
son.
an
Like,
old man, you can't do C-class. Listen, and if Haitians is on this fucking joint and they think that they getting women because I have a Mercedes,
They
and
are.
doing a C-class. I know they doing it, and I'm going to correct this shit. Shit is weak.
this is the crab in the barrel mentality you're talking about.
Nah, I don't care.
It's like, yo,
nigga.
like, all right, no.
Yeah,
The
your
reason
shit
I say
weak.
no, the reason I say this is like this, bro.
A
Nobody
man,
loves you.
a real
No,
man,
yeah.
S-class,
Nobody loves, bro.
7
Nobody
Series.
loves you, dude. Nobody loves you because of your car, bro. And that's the thing,
No, but
like,
look.
so like, right?
No, what I'm trying to say is like this is the mound to get over the hill because one thing that it took for me to understand shit was prior to me getting or obtaining all these possessions,
Yeah.
it took me to get it. And then when I got it,
Word.
listen, then when I got it, that's when my understanding came. And said,
Exactly.
shit, that shit don't mean shit. But that's why I'm trying to tell people to fail forward. Yo, get that
No,
shit.
but the thing is, like,
Yo, so you can understand that this shit don't matter.
yo, when it comes to
It
people,
don't
bro,
matter.
look, listen, bro, nothing matters, right? Nothing matters
Cause the
except for
shorties that care about that shit, bro.
you don't want them.
Me, I'm gonna say
You're not gonna meet wifey at the club. Basically, you're not gonna meet wifey at the club, right?
Me and wifey at the club.
So listen. So let's hit the proverb one more time. a
I got
protector
it. Oh,
is
you
like
got
a
it?
cloak. So no, read it in Creole one time if you
Moun
could.
pasedra. That's
Okay.
word.
And from our like the past 20 minutes of our conversation,
Mm.
what does that really mean right now? Because like we kind of like unpacked it mad different ways, and I'll go first if you want to think. But like I have a different understanding of my than my first understanding right now.
Bro, like a lot of this shit that you think is gonna cover you is not gonna cover you. It's like even to the end of what we just said, to
That's what I was
where
thinking.
a
That's what I was
Mercedes
thinking.
Benz or all that shit is not gonna cover you. It's just the
Mm.
essence of you. You know what I'm saying? Like stop allowing something else to define you. Define yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
from the essence of what I spoke on, my experience, and what we spoke on is don't allow shit to define you. You define yourself.
But what I
Yeah,
wanted to say
Myles,
though,
what's up?
bro, I wanted to say this, and I don't know if you caught it, but I definitely caught it, and then you gonna get mad because you're gonna say
Yeah,
you caught it. You know? All
I
right,
know.
look.
I probably it probably right.
So,
It's,
so
great mind
what's
things
pa mean?
alike.
What's pa mean
Don't,
in Creole?
don't,
Don't, right?
yeah,
So,
don't.
and read it in English one time.
For the Creole, you want me to do the Creole and then do the joint? So, moon, people, pa, don't, c'est dry, right? Like we don't
Yeah,
rely on we don't rely
right,
on
right,
covers.
right.
Dry
So
is a
it says
cover.
so pa, right?
Mm.
So in English, when you read it, like where do you see the pa in that English?
Protected is like a cloak. I see it as the pie and
The pa,
protector. Pie. Hold on. No, you said don't, and it says protector is
yeah.
like a quote, a cloak. So
Mm.
protector is like a cloak.
See,
Like I see it in the
like
like.
you
Yeah,
see
I see it in
pa
the
and like.
like.
Nah,
Yeah.
I don't see. You, no,
No,
no, that's
because
what it
that's
is. No, no, you're
that's
right.
the
That's what it
pretender.
is.
That's the interchange. Yeah.
So that's what it is, right? But
Mhm.
to where I read it from English to Creole, it's like this. It's trying to show you that you don't need a protector. Because when it says
Right.
pa, what's pa mean again?
Don't.
Don't,
Don't.
right? So when it say don't, if you comparing don't to like, and that the the thing is protector, you don't need a protector. You
Right.
dig? So when I saw that, I was like, wow. When it says pa, and it's like protector, because then pa is protector, and if pa is protector, I mean that's our hubris and to our
No,
arrogance.
pause
We don't need a
like
quote. No, pa is not like. So
pause
what is it
protector
saying,
to
Creole?
you.
So no, yeah. So no, in Creole, what it says? It
Yeah.
says moon. What does
Moon
it say? I can't even
people
see it.
people
Mm-hmm.
pa cedra. People aren't sheets.
Right. So when it
Sheets is
says,
dry. So
all right,
protectors aren't cloaks. Like
so where do you see
people,
aren't?
but
So where do you see aren't in English in the English version?
in a in the English version, passe is like isn't like it should be
Isn't see?
isn't
Yeah.
like.
So but it is like.
Mm.
And maybe I wrote it wrong, but that's what I saw in like
No,
what we
like yo,
show.
take it how you take it, man. Like this
Yeah.
is your shit.
So when it no, but when it says like a protector, like like we're very adamant on not having protectors. That's why like for us, especially, our strongest protectors are women, right? Because like we accept that, right? But it's like, man, she can't save you. You know, you ever hear that? Yo, he can't save you. She can't save you. But then when it says pa
They got some shit.
and it's
Don't say that shit.
it hurts, bro. It shit hits.
You
It
about to
hits
get. You
different.
about to get. Yo, you about to get in a whole nother joint. You gonna say that?
But you see what I'm saying though?
Women are protectors. Like yo, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's the only way we accept it.
Yo, hold on. You just said that shit for real?
Yeah, it's something like, but when we was growing up, it was like,
listen, I wholly 100% believe. I have to say this. I believe that women are the strongest element in this world. I cannot be me. I cannot conform to be me. I don't have my say or nothing. This and that. Listen, women challenge me all the time. Everything that I gotta say or any question I have in this world, a women can challenge that shit. Women is everything. I feel like as a man, everything I do is a freaking layup. They take Steph Curry shots. Yo, women, listen, bro. Listen. Women take half court shots like Steph Curry. Like
I wouldn't say that either.
Yo, listen, what Steph Curry does, yo, if it wasn't for my mother and for my aunt, I wouldn't be contesting a lot of other people's shit. My strength couldn't come from
of course
anything else if it wasn't from a woman. Yo,
you got strong women in your life, bro.
Yeah,
you definitely do have strong women in your life.
But then, and I'm like, yo, let's just say some shit that sounds a little gory and pardon me for the listeners and shit.
Anybody listening now?
Listen, when you constipated taking a shit, how hard is that?
You know what?
Now imagine giving birth. Now imagine giving birth.
No, I can't do that, bro. I'm not going. I'm not going to blue pill you like that. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. No, I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, like giving birth is like something that, like, well, I look at like the body, bro. Like the body meant to do certain things. You see what I'm saying? That's like I'm saying, like, yo, imagine shoveling snow or imagine whatever,
bro.
I accept and I understand.
Listen.
He's trying to get me canceled.
This is basic science. This is basic science, basic economics. You put the fucking whole shit together, right?
It's not economics, yeah.
No, listen. All right, so a vagina, right? It takes a dick in there. Right,
oh wait.
Sometimes.
Can we say penis for the show?
Penis for the show. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Now, on due diligence, like how narrow, how thick a nigga dick gonna be? On average,
gotta be a nigga dick. Go ahead, though. Yeah.
And then for it to have an exit of a child, sometime a child, just look at the formulation of a child to come out of some shit and be like, God damn, this child done stretched this shit. And that's why some
then you gonna put your dick right back in there 6 months later.
And some niggas don't even like that shit because the competition, like, how the fuck that big ass baby came out of there and I gotta stick my dick back in there? How the fuck that gonna make sense for me?
Sucker shit, yeah. Nah,
it happens though.
Nah, it happens. It does. It definitely does happen, bro.
All right, let's flip the switch, right? How the fucking nigga gonna take a shit and the hardest shit you going for? Yeah, it should be like this: a pebble, and you fall for that.
Yo, hold on.
Then some of the biggest shit you got going on, it be like, yo, hold on.
I'm about to hit you with a play myself show topic, son, because you wilding right now.
What the fuck is these women just doing right now?
Nah, bro. Yo, so we're going to have to end this. Nah. We have to go back to the proverb, man. So, like, yo, this was just about the proverb.
Yo, look,
you about to you doing a podcast
shit right now. Tune in for more, because we're going to have more shit like this.
Yeah, that's a different. That's a podcast, bro. Like we want people to learn the proverb for young Haitians. This for young Haitians. You talking about like the nigga dick going in it?
Yo, listen, it's some real shit. I'm about to
call you on your jack.
It's science and all this shit. Figure it out.
Yo, hold on. Yo, just with
I love y'all. Yo, listen, hold on, listen.
I'll let you have the last word. I'm gonna let you have the last word.
One thing. Yo, thank y'all for your chiming in for all of our bullshit, whatever we got going on here. Play Self Podcast is the Vlogmas.
Play
We got
myself
Power
show.
Gum. No, listen, Play Myself Show. This is
Don't say Power Moon
Vlogmas.
because I gotta buy it.
For real?
Yeah, son. I don't own PowerGoodMoon.com. I'm about to buy it tonight.
You heard it. You heard it from
yeah, I'm about to buy
first.
it. I have to buy it.
You
Yeah.
know, LVPRD.com. Go check that out. If you need
Yeah.
merch,
Links in the bio.
Good,
Links in the bio.
Sexy, whatever. Do your thing.
But
we just talk our
so,
shit. And yo, I love y'all for chiming in and tuning in and sharing it with everybody. Yo, blessings.
Yo, friends, let
y'all.
me close it out. Let me close it out because I gotta give you the
man.
last word, man. I gotta give you the last word. So
No, you got the last word. It's you.
no, you have to have the last word. That's what you would call hospitable, right? It's like, okay, guys.
Like that sometimes.
So whoever's listening right now, man, a protector is like a cloak, right? And
Moun
in Creole is Moun passe droit, right? This is the first proverb I feel that it means something totally different but means the same. And French is gonna have the last word, but it speaks to the word protector and passe, right? And you can do your own Haitian studies for Moonlight that's listening to this, but like we gotta dig deep on what that means. Like the word protector is like and passe is like, because we know droit means cloak, right? And moon means a. We can say,
it's a cover.
But
it's a cover.
Yeah, it's a cover. Clove is a cover. Protector passe protector is like and passe. It means like that. The meat in that sandwich is kind of thick, man. But what say you guys? So it's just like, talk heavy on that if you see this. But French, you get the last word.
Yeah, so remember that people ain't your cover, man. Be your authentic self, and that's what this channel was about. Play Myself podcast, the vlog, show. Play Myself show is not just something just for entertainment, but it's just an informant to just show that this
never an informant.
Embrace yourself. Be yourself, and don't rely on nobody else to do anything you need to do for you. You don't need no validation.
That's real.
Confirmation from nobody else. It's be you, and this is what this is about. This 100%. Is what we're doing this for. This is what my brother is doing this for. It means a lot 100%. To him. And listen, it doesn't take away from whether we're going through ups and downs in any stature in life, whether it be financially, relationshiply, maritally, whatever.
Relationship.
Just understand that. Be you.
Be you.
Don't
do you
need no cover. Be authentic with everything, and rely on that and trust in that. But my bigger thing is respect to the Most High.
Right.
That's
be
what
you
us the whole time.
Be you. Be you. Do you love you?
Love
LVPRD.
Peace.
All right,
brother. My love.
Right now.